Hi, and welcome to this yoga program. So it's a short program and it's designed to be added in to an existing yoga program. So I'm presuming here that you're already quite warmed up and it's just a little add-on. It's designed to be working the stabilizing muscles of the hips, but also the strength at the end of the range of the different hip movements. So let's make a start. So let's start off at the end of our mat. So just before we begin, let's take a mountain pose or Tadasana. Lifting up the toes, wiggling the toes. And as you lift up those toes, just notice the arches here. So you could feel like a real kind of lift happening in the arches. So you may even want to put your hands on those arches to feel that lift. And then place the toes back down. As you do, trying to maintain that lift of the arches. Let that lift and that activation come the whole way up the inside of the legs as well. So we're standing at the top of the mat. And then let's breathe in, raise up the hands above the head. Breathing out as we step back with the left leg, going all the way back, big step back into a high lunge. And breathing in, lift up the arms. Breathing out, we'll lower the arms. As we do, we bring the weight forwards into the front leg, letting that back leg just lift up a little. Breathing in as we come back, raise up the arms. Breathing out, just doing that little lift again. And back down. And this time, breathing in, raising up the arms to about 45 degrees. Keep breathing in as we float that back leg up. And we're lifting off this time into Warrior Three. And breathing here. Trying to lift that back leg as high as we can. Pushing away now with the heel. So imagine you're pushing away with the heel. We're pushing through the hands. Just breathing naturally. And then let's breathe in as we draw the knee into the chest. Use the hands. Just going to centralize myself. Using the hands here to bring that knee as close into the chest as possible. Really keeping that sense of groundedness through that standing leg. So that knee is really close in. Now, activate the right knee that's into the chest and slowly remove the hands, trying to keep the knee as high as it is. So it may drop a little. If it drops, just use the hands to lift it up again. Maybe just holding kind of one finger or a whole hand just to keep it in that same position. And then starting to straighten the leg now. It may only be a little bit of a straighten because we want to keep that thigh in the same position. Keeping those muscles activated. So whatever you do, don't allow the leg to drop, even if you only straighten that lower leg a little bit. And if you notice that you're starting to lean to one side, as much as possible, bring that weight as central as we can. Here, take a breath in. And as we breathe out, back into Warrior Three. Coming back in, knee to chest. And then stepping that leg behind you back into our low lunge. So now, with this standing, so keep the same leg standing. We're going to open out the back foot. So about 45 degrees on that back leg. Bringing the hands to the hips. And shuffle in a little with that back leg. We're going to move into our half moon pose. So we're lifting up the back leg. Coming to, we can use the wall here for support. And we're opening through that back leg. Just watching this standing knee, making sure that the knee is aligned with the foot. So you don't want the knee going in one direction, the foot going in the other. So you can either use a wall here with your hands, or maybe if you've got a block handy, you may want to have a block. And then bringing the top hand to the hip. And lifting that leg as high as it will possibly go. If it doesn't feel that it wants to go so high, find a wall, get into position, and then walking the foot all up the wall until you find kind of the max position you can get to. And then gently move the foot slightly forward off the wall, back to the wall, slightly back off the wall. So you can be doing this with the wall or without the wall. And slowly lowering down, give the legs a little bit of a shake. Coming back to the starting position again. So take our Tadasana. Breathing in, raising up the hands. Breathing out, stepping back with that left leg this time into a high lunge. Breathing in, raise the arms. Breathing out, arms back down. Weight forward, float up that back leg just a little. Slight pause. Lower back down. Breathing in, lift up. Back down. Now this time breathe in as we raise up all the way into Warrior 3 this time. Holding that Warrior 3, noticing if there's a difference between sides. How high will that leg go? Is the hip tilting at all? So we're trying to keep the hip central as much as possible. Now push away with the heel as if you're pushing through a door with that heel. Someone's pulling your hands so you're really stretching through here. And then take a breath in. Breath out. And as you breathe in again, bring the knee into the chest. Use the hands to pull the knee as far towards the heart as possible. Really pushing in. And then take away a hand. Perhaps take away another hand. If the leg drops, bring the hand back on. Maybe you just need one hand, maybe a couple of fingers, maybe nothing to keep that hand in position. And then start to straighten the leg, but keeping that thigh in the same position. Having a little explore, then holding there, growing tall. We've still got that activation through the soles of the foot and the standing leg. And then going all the way through again to our low lunge. And turning out with that back foot, so about 45 degrees. And come in a little with that back leg. We're bringing our weight onto our front foot, turning our body down to the side, maybe using a wall or a block as we lower the torso down, lifting up to the side, the other leg. So we're opening through the chest, hands on the hip. And like we did before, you may want to have this foot against the wall so you can walk it up a little bit higher, or you may want to keep it in space. And then gently just bring the foot forwards a little, back a little. You may even want to make circles, but do the same on each side. Forwards a little, back a little, and then releasing down. Give the hips a little bit of a shake here. And make our way down to the ground. Let's lie on our back in our knees bent position, preparing for bridge. So in our bridge, pressing the lower back into the mat, lifting the tailbone, and then lifting up one vertebrae at a time. Imagining that your knees are like headlights and you're shining forwards, so not coming out to the side at all, not squirting inwards, just aiming forwards. And we come up to our kind of ski slope-like position. And then just see where you are with your shins. They should be kind of perpendicular to the ground. Give the toes a wiggle, activate those arches again if possible, squeezing the buttocks, lifting, and then lifting one leg up and lowering down. So as we do this, keeping the hips high, and if you notice any little sagging in the hips, doing our very best to adjust that sag and lift up again. So maybe just resting the fingertips on the hips, and then lifting up with the other leg, and back down, and just doing one at a time, just really having awareness in the hips. I can feel I'm starting to sag a little bit now, so I'm just going to roll back down, coming back up again, and again just going with this kind of marching one at a time. If this is kind of feeling really easy and there's no sag at all in these hips, straightening the leg out, lowering the straight leg, tapping the heel on the ground, lifting up, back down, then the other leg, straight leg to the ceiling, lowering all the way down to tap the heel on the ground, leg back up and bend, but all the while keeping the hips really, really up. And different days, it will be easier to do different things. Then lowering all the way down here, bringing the knees into the chest, and a slight side to side rock. And there we go. So feel free to continue with the rest of your session. Maybe would be a nice time to do a couple of twists before moving into Shavasana. Just make it your own. Okay, thanks.